What's up, everybody? It is your boy Monk the Dude here, and we are back with another Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Hero Colosseum video. And today, guys, we're going to be doing something a little different than what we did, yesterday. We did the HP figures. Now, in my previous videos, when I've done attack lists, I bunched up defensive attack figures and offensive attack figures. What I mean by that is characters that are made to go on teams that are made to go second. So defensive teams, and then I lumped them together with like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who's made to go. Even though I have him on with SEC skills, I'm pretty sure that was just for Bardock purposes and just Zenkai buffing him and just seeing how crazy I could actually get him, because he does hit ridiculously hard with that. But he's made to go on teams that are made to go first. So, this is the defensive attack figures, which I think are a lot. Because it was really hard to distinguish who is the best. It wasn't hard to distinguish who's the best attack figure in the game. It was hard to distinguish where the rest of the list should go, because number one's pretty obvious to me, and then 2 through 9 it was so hard, guys. So I needed to split it up into two lists. Defensive attack figures and offensive attack figures. So, offensive attack figures are speedier characters that are made to go on teams that go first and just hit ridiculously hard. And then best attack figures that go on defensive teams is like a Dragon Ball Super Broly and stuff like that, guys. So we're going to be right back, and then we'll hop into the list with number 10. I'll see you when I see you. Alright, guys, we are back. Let's get into it. Number 10, in my opinion, is God of Destruction Beerus, guys. Now, I think 10 through 7, or 10 through 8, so like 10, 9, and 8, were pretty weird characters that I was just like, bro, I really don't know who to put here, because I didn't want to go back. I wanted to stay on the first page, because I think those are the characters that actually are the hardest hitting characters. And being able, when I distinguish who is the best defense, or when I distinguish an attack character, guys, I think of, if I put the character there, one, are they going to destroy the character or the thing in front of it? That's the main goal of an attack character. Their main goal is to destroy things. So Dragon Ball Super Broly, I know he's going to maul whatever I put in front of him. It doesn't matter what it is. Same thing with like anybody else on this list, guys. So, one, how is their posing skill? Is their posing skill benefiting anybody else? More than likely, they're benefiting themselves. And if they have any negatives, which I think one character on this list has a negative, which I think is pretty obvious now that I said that, how bad does it affect the team? Because if it affects the team really, really badly, I just can't put them on the list. So attack figures, will they mollywop the character in front of them? How are their trigger squares? If they go somewhere in the back, and if they're hidden with characters that are good, that are go in front of them, they automatically shoot up the list, because you can put SEC skills with them. You can just allow them to have attack up SEC, ADM up SEC, ADM up B, and just smash the character in front of them, guys. So, God of Destruction Beerus, I think he's a fantastic character. HP 8990, attack is juiced out to the max. I could have one more dupe into his attack. I don't know why I put one into his speed. It was a very long time ago. Don't judge me. 7570. Defense is 710. Speed is 1450. God of ultimate attack is Sphere of Destruction. Posing skill, Destructive Blow. Placed on the trigger square to deal damage that ignores opponent's defense. Repeatable. I think that's fantastic. Only issue I have with him is his trigger square is where Vados goes. If this guy went top left instead of top right, he would be farther up the list. He'd be in the top 5, guys. Every time I think he'd be in the top 5. Because ignoring defense is so valuable. Like, for instance, hit. Hit ignores defense. They basically have no defense. Well, I mean, the hit doesn't ignore defense. He drops the opponent's defense to 0, and then a character can hit the character that he just dropped defense to 0. And then look, they maul. They just destroy everything. Defense is such a valuable stat. So the fact that he ignores it, I think automatically deserves him a place on this list. Only thing that brings him down and doesn't make him a top 5 character in the game is that trigger square. Everything else is good. HP is good. Attack stat obviously is fantastic. If you get attack up SEC, he has 8500 attack. ADM up SEC gives him a plus 20% damage buff. You really can't go wrong. Only thing is his defense is a little eh. And when I say defense, guys, a lot of these characters aren't made to tank. They're made to hit hard. They're not made to get hit at all. So, like, For instance, the HP figures that I did the other day, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was ranked 3rd, spoilers. HP version, the OG one. He probably can out-damage Beerus easily every single time, but he needs time to ramp up. This guy ignores defense. It's such a valuable thing. It is a way more valuable thing than some people realize, guys. So, number 9, pretty similar, Vegeta Blue. Now he was not in the first page. I actually had to go to the second page for him, but I think he deserves to be on this list for a multitude of reasons. One, we'll just go through his stats. Level max 99, HP is 5790, attack is 7310, defense is 1940, speed is 1300. Posing skill, the ultimate fused warrior. Place on a trigger square to attack 2 opponents in the column in front. Repeatable, and ignore opponent defense when attacking if your HP is 50% or less. Trigger squares, top left, bottom right. 2 fantastic trigger squares, guys. Because one, if you put him plus a Vados, he can be hidden with Vados. And also, if you put him and then him top left and Vados top right, he has 1940 defense, guys. It is very, I want to say this. I want to say this. It is very easy to get him below 50% HP, and then he's ignoring defense. And then he is smashing characters because, look, he doesn't have the attack stat that he has. He's 300 attack less, 200 attack less, right? But he's hitting everybody in the row in front of him. And just the threat of being able to do that makes the opponent think of ways to not get the other characters killed, because he is the reason some of the characters that are higher on this list don't get put on the field very often, because he is always lurking, ready to kill. And he goes in the 2 best spots to put characters that are hidden. All of the characters, I think almost every single character coming up on this list goes where he goes top left and goes where he goes bottom right, and they're hidden. So I think he's very valuable. I think his posing skill is fantastic. Obviously, he doesn't get, the only thing I would change is giving him an attack buff. But other than that, I think we need a new Vegeta Blue to begin with. I've always said that. I've said that like for weeks at this point since I've been starting uploading again. We need a new Vegeta Blue. I'm hoping. But number 9 was Vegeta Blue. Number 8, Omega Shenron. I'll explain. Omega Shenron number 469. Haha, Omega Shenron. Level max 99. HP is 6430. Attack is 8640. Defense 720. Speed is 1180. Posing skill, the ultimate Shadow Dragon. Placed on a trigger square for plus 30% damage dealt, minus 10% damage taken, and minus 10% ultimate attack gauge at the end of turn, stacks during that turn only. Top, middle, bottom right is his trigger squares. I want to say this right now. The only reason he is 8 is minus 10% ultimate attack gauge. If he did not have that part, he'd probably be in the top 5. Because there's 2 characters in the top 5 that have that literally almost exact posing skill, and the only reason they're better than him is because they don't have a negative. Like I said, there's one character that has a negative, like built into their posing skill. Not like a catch part, but like literally something negative happens to you. And that is why they are not higher. That's why he's not higher on the list. But overall, stats, HP solid. Attack with 1 dupe has 8600 attack. If I put all 10 dupes into him, he has 9500 attack with all 10 dupes. That is ridiculous considering he gets a 30% damage buff. Regardless, even if I go first, right, and he is still in his trigger square, he's hitting 30% harder with a 8600 attack stat. Most characters would kill for that, like literally kill for that. I would kill for more characters that have that. Defense is a little low. I don't really like his defense, and his speed is but a lot of these characters are, like I said, they're the defensive character, the defensive attack list, so they're made to go second and hit hard with SEC skills. So plus 30% damage buff, plus 1000 attack. So he is getting 9600 attack, right? Plus another 20. He has a 50% damage dealt buff with SEC skills. If I really wanted to, I could put ADM up B on him, and he has a 60% damage buff. That is so stupid, guys. Like I said, the only reason his trigger squares are good, top, middle, he has minus 10% damage dealt, which is why I have defensive up SEC, because he'll have 1400 defense, which is actually not terrible. Him plus a Vados, and he's taking 10% less damage. I think that's pretty solid. It's enough to take 1 hit, and that's really all he needs to take is 1 hit, survive 1 hit, kill the character that's in front of him, tank the character that's probably behind the character that's in front of him, and then put him behind Vados, and then just let Vados protect Omega, and Omega mauls everything in the game, because he just has that plus 30%, which is one of the most valuable things in the game, and I don't think a lot of people realize it, guys. So number 7, I think this was a wild card one. I just didn't know who to put. Kefla. Kefla's a very good figure. I don't use her enough. I think she is criminally underrated. I think if we're talking about underrated characters, shout out to whoever commented that in the last video, or 2 videos ago. I think it was 2 videos ago. Underused and underrated characters. It's her. I never see her. But when I see her, I'm scared. Because she has 9,000 attack. And she goes behind a Piccolo. Level max 99. Well, number 361, Kefla Super Saiyan. Level max 99. HP 6300. Attack 9170. Defense 570. Speed female fusion. And place under trigger square for plus 700 to own attack if you go first. Plus 500 to own defense if you go second, and place after turn 3 for plus 500 attack and plus 250 to own defense that turn only. Now, the reason she is above Omega, above Blue Vegito, and above Beerus is simple. She goes behind some of the best characters in the game. Bottom middle is one of the best spots in the game. There's another character that is on this list that has that trigger square, bottom middle. It is one of the best trigger squares in the game. You can go behind a Piccolo, you can go behind a Rose, you can go behind a Toa, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, HP Blue Goku, which I had on this list earlier today. Did I say Piccolo? Rose, the second version of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you can put her behind Android 21, SR 21. There's so many characters that are made to tank, and she can go behind them. Only thing that I don't like about her posing skill, when I said there's built-in negatives to Omega, there's one not built-in negative, but it's like I said, it's a catch. She's made to go on teams that go second, right? Her first part of her posing skill, place on a trigger square for plus 700 to your own attack if you go first. You would obviously want that because she's made to kill characters. So more than likely, if you put her on the field, because of her low speed, she is going to be making you go second, which means she is going to be gaining the defensive buff. Not bad. I'm not saying bad. She's still getting a buff. I ain't complaining about 500 defense permanent. Right? I ain't complaining about that. She'll get that no matter what. She could be turn 5. You could go second every single time turn 4 comes up. Turn 4, she's gained 2,000 defense, right? But after turn 3, the fact that she permanently gains, she'll gain 500 attack. Now, it's not permanent, but gaining 500 attack, just being in her trigger square, being able to go behind a Piccolo or all those top-tier characters I mentioned is fantastic. Now, her trigger square, top right, not a very useful trigger square, honestly, but I feel like once you get maybe 2 stacks of her plus 500 to own defense if you go second, I think if you get 2 of them and get her to 1,500 defense, and maybe if you have a Whis, I think it's very doable. I think it's a very doable tank age. Maybe like 1, maybe 2 turns, depending on if she gets hit by, like, obviously a harder hitter. But if we're talking about characters that kill, she kills characters so fast, guys. So, number 6, I call him the GOAT, one of the GOATs of the game. I still can't believe he's on this list. My dude! Now, I know what you're thinking, Muggs. 2,000 defense is a little high. 2,000 speed is a little high. Shut your mouth. Number 203, Goku. I'm just going to call him Goku. Level max 99, HP 6220, attack 7910, defense is 1050, and speed is 2180. Posing skill, true power of a god. Place on our trigger square for plus 700 to your own attack. 160 attack to all allies, plus 5% to your damage dealt. Now, when I get the last dupe into him, he will have 8,000 attack. So I'm going to just say 8,000 attack. He starts with 8,000 attack, right? When he's in his trigger square, bottom left, he'll gain another 700 attack, which means he will have 8,700 attack. Plus repeatedly gaining 5%. 5% onto his damage dealt. So, like, everybody loves that Super Saiyan 3 Bardock that just came out. I don't have him, so he's never going to be on this list because I just have never used him. Bardock makes everybody do 5% more damage. Everybody loves that. He does it to himself, and he's been so old. He is a very old figure, guys. So, turn 1, he gains 5%. Turn 2, he's now at 10%. Turn 3, he's at 15%. Turn 4, he's at 20%. So, even if you go to turn 2, right, you have him on the field twice, he now has a 10% damage buff no matter where he goes. Say you get SEC skills. He now has 1,000 attack buff. 80 up SEC. Oh, by the way, if you have him on the field for 2 turns, he's basically at 9,000. He is at like 9,500 attack. With a 20% damage or 10% damage buff because the plus 5%. And if you have SEC skills on him, he's above a 10,000 attack stat with like a 30% damage buff, mauling everything. Doesn't matter who's in front of him, he's killing the character. His build is fantastic. I think top, middle, trigger square, I think it's doable because if you put defensive up, I recently just put defensive up SEC on him, which means he's going to be having 1,700 defense. Him plus Vados, I think, is a very doable setup. I think it's one of the better setups in the game. I think you just need to pull it off and don't get him killed. I think you need to pick your spots with him when it comes to the top middle, but just run Vados, whoever you want in front of him. I don't care who goes in front of him. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you could put End of Z Goku in front of him, Rose in front of him. You could put Super Saiyan 4 Goku in front of the second version. You can put literally Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. You could put Beerus in front of him if you wanted to. You could put him in front of him if you wanted to, right? That was the end of this one. Okay, cool. And by the way, guys, he just happens to be a support character, buffing everybody's attack by 160. I just think he's if we're talking about characters and like how they were built, he's basically a 10 out of 10 figure. I think there's nothing wrong with him. I think his speed is good enough. So if you want to run him on a team with Videl, you probably could. You just need you definitely need like a future Gohan or someone ridiculously fast. But HP good. Attack is phenomenal considering he's permanently gaining 700 attack, which I know a lot of characters kill. Like, for instance, if she had the plus 700 attack buff permanent, regardless of what it was, turn 1, she would be above him, like, no matter what. But the fact that he's gaining 5% damage, though, and plus 700 attack makes him better than everybody else on this list, besides 5 through 1, guys. So we'll be right back. Let's get into 5 through 1. All right, guys, we are back. Let's get into it. Super Saiyan 3 Bardock is the person on the list. Number 359 Bardock, level max 99, HP 7350, attack is 8680, defense is 700, speed is 1460, extraordinary awakening, placed on a trigger score for plus 500 to attack, 250 to defense, and minus 250 speed to all opponents repeatable. Trigger score is top left and bottom middle. Like I said with Kefla, bottom middle, one of the best trigger scores in the game. You guys saw Sun Santana and Jeezy play. They both had a Piccolo and Super Saiyan 3 Bardock setup. It's one of the best setups in the game. Excuse me. One of the best... Oh, I'm out of water. One of the best setups in the entire game is that. The fact that he goes top left, if you put defensive up SEC on him, he'll have 1,400 defense plus the 250 defense he's getting. So he'll be at 1,650 defense. And with a Vados, because you're going to run Vados with him. I just think it's almost imperative to run Vados sometimes with him. Vados plus him, and then you could run a Goku behind him. I might actually make that team now because I don't think anybody's really going to want to try and kill those two characters because if they don't have like a Pikkon or they don't have a Blue Vegito or they don't have a Fu, they're screwed. I think the way he's built's fantastic. I think his posing skill, the only negative with it is if you're trying to go second, lowering all opponents' speed by 250 really isn't that good, but I think, like I've said in the past before, going first matters. Going second is important in the beginning of the game because that's where, like, you want to get those big bonus skills. These character skills are the reason you want to go second at the beginning of the game. Going first, I would say, matters the most towards the end of the game because that's when the 250 speed kicks in. That dude's gotten a couple buffs. His defense is juiced up. You have Goku juice with 2,000 speed. So I think overall, he's a very solid character. I don't think there's really any negatives about him. Maybe besides that speed, but like I'm not really going to nitpick considering he starts with 8,600 attack plus 500. He's now at 9,100 attack plus he's going to gain that, and he's behind Piccolo, some of the best characters in the game because the bottom middle trigger square is one of the best trigger squares in the game. Besides, like, I think there's only one trigger square I would argue. I don't know. I think there's only one other trigger square I would argue that is better. Maybe bottom right. And maybe top middle. But, like, other than that, I would assume that bottom middle is one of the best trigger squares in the game. So, yeah, guys, I think he's number 5. Number 4, my boy. My boy. I have 2 teams with him, and he smashes everything. Number 280, Blue Goku. Level max 99, HP 5500, attack is 8970, defense 1090, speed is 1340. You have more speed than him? You have less speed than him, that's good. Speed 1340, posing skill domain of the gods. Place on a trigger square for a plus 30% to own damage dealt, minus 10% damage taken, and plus 10% damage dealt by all allies on the left and right of him. That's fantastic. So guys, trigger square is top, middle, bottom, right. He goes behind Avados. I'm not even gonna, I don't even repeat myself that much because the next character, by the way, guys, what is he, 4? Number 3 is Blue Vegeta. Number 4 is Blue Goku. The reason he's 4 is that plus 30% with almost basically 9,000 attack is so freaking busted. It's one of the most busted things in the game. Is giving a character with 9,000 attack a permanent 30% damage dealt when they're in their trigger square. It's freaking stupid. Not to mention, if I put defensive up SEC on him, him having basically 1,700 defense when you get that plus 700 defensive buff is phenomenal because he has 10% damage reduction with damage taken, and he's also supporting the characters on the left and right. So if you want to run Vados and then him, he could go top middle or he could go bottom right. You could run Vados top right, him bottom right, and then if you want to run Super Saiyan 4 Goku to make sure you lower their damage dealt by 10% too, that's fine. He will be giving Super Saiyan 4 Goku a 10% damage buff because he is on the left of him, which is phenomenal. I think that's phenomenal, guys. I really don't think there's anything wrong with this figure. I literally think he's also one of the characters in the game I would argue is 10 out of 10. Only thing, maybe his defense is a little low and his HP is a little low, but I ain't nitpicking when you got a 30% damage buff, guys. Now, like I said, number 3 is him. Same thing. I think his stats are a little... Does he have more defense? He has 40 more defense. 40. What's 40 at this point? But Blue Vegeta, 283. HP is 3980. Attack is 9330. Defense is... yeah, so stupid. Defense is 1050 and speed is 1850. Transcendent height is his posing skill. Place on a trigger square for plus 30% to own damage dealt, minus 10% damage taken. Also, ignore opponent's damage reduction effects when attacking. Stacks during that turn only. It's pretty good, right? You would say there's nothing wrong with them. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. If you put Vados and then him, you're killing the thing that's in front of him. You're killing the character that's in front of him. It's very rare that he doesn't kill a character, even with Vados. Vados does do a little bit of work on him because he is losing 30%, which is 3,000 attack, but he's gaining 30%, guys. I want you guys to realize that. If you put him... I might actually put ADM up B on him again, because I think that's really the best setup, is all attack, just juice him, right? Place on a trigger score for plus 30% to own damage dealt, minus 10% damage taken. Also, ignore opponent's damage reduction effects when attacking. His trigger scores are top left, bottom right. So he's in one of the best trigger scores in the game, bottom right, goes behind Vados. All you need to know. His top left trigger square really isn't the best because, who are you hiding with him? Goku, Goku's tankier than you. Why are you hiding Goku with a character that only has 1,000 defense with less than 4k HP? So I think that's a little sus, guys. But other than that, plus 30% damage dealt, and he's ignoring damage reduction effects. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the one that lowers damage dealt by 10%, doesn't affect him. Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta that lowers damage reduction by 10%, lowers damage dealt by 10%, doesn't affect him. He ignores it. You really can't skew this character's damage dealt besides Vados. Other than that, nothing you can do to him. So that is why he's 3. Number 2, my guy. I love this character. Level max 99. Jiren, number 320. HP is 3870. Attack is 9,940. Defense is 1230. Speed is 1460. Power opposing skill is power beyond a god of destruction. Place on a trigger score for plus 500 to your own attack, 350 to own defense, plus 15% to ultimate attack gauge repeatable. Also, if alone on the field, 1.1 times own attack and defense, plus 2,000 defense to your master stacks during that turn only. That last part really doesn't apply to him very often. More than never, probably never. But the first part is fantastic, guys. Now, all of these characters I'm mentioning can be ran outside their trigger square just because of the fact that SEC skills plus a ridiculously high attack stat, equals just damage, regardless. This is a character you don't even have to run him in his trigger square. Having basically 10,000 attack means you're killing whatever's in front of you, even if you're not in your opposing skill, even if you're not in your trigger square. But the fact that he has 10,000 attack, you put him in his trigger square once, bottom left, he's now above 10,000 attack with 1,500 defense and SEC skills. So this equals 11,000 attack plus 30% damage buff because of these two equals devastation. Like, there's no negatives about him either. Like, the last part of his posing skill is not really good, but, like, when I'm thinking of characters, like, if they're made to kill a character, how good are... Now, there's one character in the game. I know someone's going to comment. There's one character in the game that counters every single one of these characters, and that's Toa. All my homies hate Toa. I want to say that. All my homies hate Toa. If you like Toa... I hate Toa. If you use Toa, I don't want to talk to you very much. But Toa counters all these characters, right? But if Toa's not on the field, he's the scariest character on my team every time. Now, number one, it's pretty obvious. Dragon Ball Super Broly, guys. What else do you need me to say? It's so stupid. Number 369, Broly Full Power Super Saiyan, level max 99, HP 5040, attack 11,170. I never thought we would get to this, but I have a feeling Full Power Jiren might be better than him in attack. But defense is 280, speed is 950. Unknown Saiyan is his posing skill, and placed on a trigger square for plus 500 to own attack when attacking, plus 500 to own defense when attacked, repeatable. And then this is the big one. Place after turn 3 to attack opponents in the front row, and if no opponents are in the front row, attack opponent's master. If you have him in his trigger square, he gains 1,000. He gains 500 attack, but you don't really need him to be in his trigger square. You can put him bottom middle because of this. ADM up B, plus that, and I want to mention his stats. HP, attack, best attack stat in the game. Like, literally, look. Best attack stat in the game. Not even close. Like, literally. Look who's number 2. It's another Broly with no dupes. That's how good he is. Defense, terrible. Look at his defense. Lowest defensive stat besides a level 1 SR and and another Broly. Yeah, oh wow, your defense is trash. But guys, like I said, defense trash. Speed, I think, is amazing. Because if he's made to go on teams that go second, having less than 1,000 speed, it almost guarantees you going second. Like, almost every time, guys. But if you get an attack off of him in his trigger square, he gains 500 attack, and now he's at 11,600 attack, which is just stupid. And after turn 3 is probably one of the most broken posing skills in the game. He's one of the reasons I can beat better players than me is because Vados plus a character that can tank plus Broly. And if you don't have a character to counter Broly, he's killing, say they're running Vados and Piccolo. Like, cool, those two characters are dead. See ya. And then the character behind him. And if they want to be cheeky and they want to just put and if they want to put out a random character, like top middle or top left, and they don't really want to, because a lot of high level players will do this, is they will bait you to use Broly in his trigger square, and I will go, screw you, I ain't using him in his trigger square, and I'll hit a character that they have in the back that they're not hiding, for a specific reason, because I'm like, cool, you know that I'm going to use Broly, use him outside his trigger square, he has 11,000 attack, guys. You guys saw the other video the other day, 2 days ago. The dude hit for 13,000 on the Master. No character should have ever been able to hit that number. I would have never imagined when we were in when we were in this meta. When we were in this meta. I think this was the best part. I think right here was the best meta in the game. When, I think it was Omega Shenron, right? Yeah, Omega Shenron. Yeah, Omega Shenron to all the way to Goku. I think was the best meta in the game. I love that part of the game. I think it's the best part of the game. I think when those characters came out, I think this game was the absolute pinnacle. Besides when UI Goku and, actually, probably when he came out. When he came out, I think it was the best. I think for me, he's my favorite character in the game still. But ugh, he can't just happen to come out when she came out, and that character, guys. But that's gonna do it for the video. Broly is the best, so we have Beerus. We'll go through 10 to 1. Beerus, Vegeta Blue, Omega Shenron 8, Kefla 7, Goku 6, Bardock 5, 4, Goku 3, Vegeta 2, Jiren, and the king of attack for defensive setups, my dude, Broly, guys. But that is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Deuces, everybody. Be safe out there.